In this Golang tutorial, we will scrape the TechCrunch website with Go and Goquery package. It's a small Golang project for today, and I want to get from TechCrunch titles of these posts, URLs to these posts, and these text excerpts. After that, I want to save the scraped data to a CSV file. It's a quite common and relatively easy task. So, in this tutorial, we will look at how to write data to text files, how to write data to CSV files, how to perform requests to websites, and how to use Goquery package. Feel free to ask your questions and suggest anything in comments. And also, please don't forget to leave a like and share the video in social networks. It helps to promote the channel. Okay. First of all, I want to create a new Go module. Go mod, init, and I want to use my GitHub path. github.com TechCrunch, for example. If you just started to learn Go language, consider watching of my Golang import tutorial. It's about of modules and packages paths in Go. So let's create a new main Go file. And its package name will be the main2. Then let's declare the main function. It's an entry point of our program. And now, to scrape the TechCrunch website, first of all I have to perform a GET request to it and get its HTML code. After that, I have to parse this HTML code with the Goquery library. And at last, I will save the scraped data to a CSV file. So let's start with getting the HTML code of the main page of the TechCrunch website. Let's define in the main function the URL variable. It's a string, and the string literal, as you know in Go, are only double quotes. Now I want to send a request to this URL. We can do it with the net HTTP package. Let's import it. And to perform a GET request, I have to call the GET method from the HTTP package. So HTTP GET. The GET method will return two objects, the server's response and an error if something will go wrong. And I want to save these returning values to variables. Response and error. It will be a good idea to check the error variable, whether it has a value or not. If it has a value, it means that something wrong with the server and we didn't get the response. Anyway, I want to see the value of the error variable. So let's check the error variable. If error not nil, it means that the error variable has a value. I want to print this error. And of course I have to import the FMT package. Okay, I got the response from the server, and now I want to check the status code of the response. If it is not OK, that is, the status code is more than 400, I want to see it. So here, let's check it. If response status code is more than 400, FMT print line. If the server responds with a 200 status code, it means that everything is okay. 301 and 302 means redirects. 403 access forbidden, 404 page not found. 500 codes are related with internal server's errors. So if the status code is more than 400, we will see the message. Okay. The HTML source code of the website is stored in the body field of the response variable. And I have to close the body of the response after I will complete the scraping process. To do it, I have to use the differ keyword and call the close method of the body field. So somewhere here. So I want to defer the call of the close method of the body field of the response variable. Defer response body close. Now let's install the Goquery library or package that will parse the HTML source code of the page. Let's add in the import statement the URL to this repository. Okay, and to install it, let's use the go get command. -v means the verbose output because I want to see the installation process. Imported and not used. Okay, let's use it. Let's assume that we got an HTML code of the website and we have to convert it to tree of Go objects, tree of structs that will allow us to search through it. To do it, I have to call the new document from reader function from the Goquery package and pass into it the body of the response. So Goquery new and the new document from reader function will return two objects, the document and an error. Let's use them. Document error. Let's check the error the same way we did earlier. And so right now we got some code redundancy because we have the error checking twice. So let's create the check function. That gets an error. And I want to copy this here. If error variable is not null, and let's call it here. And here. So let's use somehow the doc variable and install the Goquery package. It's installed, and now we got the document. Let's examine the website for what exactly I have to search for. I wanted to get the title of each post, its URL, and this excerpt text. Inspect. And we can see that these posts are article tags inside the div with a river CSS class. So let's get this river div first. I'm using the doc variable. I'm calling the find method, and I need the river. Div river. Dot here means the CSS class. And I want to know whether the Goquery finds something or not. I'm going to call its size method. Size. And let's run the code. And I got 1. To get the HTML code of the found element as a string, I can use the HTML method. HTML. If the find method will return a set of elements, list items for example, the HTML method will return the HTML code of the first element of this set. And the HTML method will also return an error. Let's check it. Check error. And let's run the code. Okay, we got the HTML code of the river. And by the way, in this HTML code we can see that there is no article tags with the post block CSS class. There are just divs with a post block CSS class. So I think that for convenience it's better to save this HTML code in a file and then work with this local file with inspector. So let's create a new function. Let's say it'll be write file function. And it will take two arguments, the data to save and the file name. Data, file name, they are both strings. String. Then I have to create a file to save my data in. I have to use the create function from the auth package. Let's import it. Auth. Then auth create. I want to create the file name. And it will return a file object and an error. File error. Let's check the error. And I want to defer the file closing. So somewhere here, file close. And then let's write into the file our code. File object, I am calling the write string method and passing into it the data variable. This data. And that's it. Let's call it write file river. File name index.html. Okay, let's open it in Chrome and let's open the inspector. Yep, we can see that each post is a div with a post block CSS class. Let's get all these posts. So let's comment this. I am calling the find method again, and I need to get divs with a post block CSS class, and also I want to see the size of this selection object. Size returns one value. Okay. "20 posts. Okay. This time, the find method returned a selection object as a set of elements. And for each element, I want to get the title, the URL, and excerpt. To do it, I have to call the each method. Each. The each method iterates through the selection object, and it gets a function as an argument. Each function will execute this function for each element of the selection that we get from the find method. This function has a standard signature. It gets two arguments, index of an item, it's an integer, and the item itself, it's a pointer to Goquery selection object. And then in the body of this function I have to describe what actions should be performed with the item variable with the element of the selection object. I want to get the title of a post and its URL. So I have to get the title. I have to get the h2 tag. I am calling the find method of the item variable, and I want to find the h2 tag. By the way, we can remove this river variable. Then the title. Title is the text of the h2 tag. So just call the text function. And I want to get rid of white spaces at the beginning of the title and at the end of the title, and I need something like the strip method in Python. Golang has a trim space function from the strings package. Let's import it. Strings. And then let's wrap the call of the text function with a strings trim space function. Okay, we got titles. Now let's get the URLs. The URL variable. The URL is the value of the href attribute of the child a tag. So let's find the a tag and let's get its href attribute. The utter method returns also the second boolean value, whether the attribute exists or not. I don't want to use it, and I want to use the underscore variable. So let's look at URLs. Title declared but not used. Okay. Title URL. We can see the URLs. Okay. And also I wanted to get this excerpts. It's a div block with a post block 2 underscores content class. So let's get it. I want to use the item variable again, and I have to find this div with this CSS class. I want to call the text method, and I want to get rid of white spaces. Okay, we got all data for each element of the selection. Now I want to combine them into a slice. It will be a slice of strings. So let's get rid of this. Print line. Let's create the posts variable. And it will be a slice of strings, title, the URL, and the excerpt. And now we are ready to save the posts variable into a CSV file. So let's import the CSV package. Encoding CSV. Then somewhere before the call of the find method, I want to create a writer object. Writer CSV new writer, and the new writer function gets a file object as an argument. So I have to create a new file. File error auth create, and let's say it'll be posts CSV file. Let's check the error variable, and the new writer function gets the file object. And then in the body of each function, let's call the write method of the writer object. Writer write, and it gets our posts variable. And also we have to push output buffers to file to be sure that all data are saved to the file. So we can do it by calling the flush method here outside of each function. Writer flush. And that's it. Let's run the code. Sorry, misprint string, of course. Okay, and we got the CSV file. Okay, and we got our data, our 20 posts. If you like the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.